Good evening. My name is Sarah Jensen, and I'm very happy to welcome you to the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County. Thank you for coming tonight and for joining us for what will be a very memorable evening. I hope you're already enjoying yourselves. The best is yet to come.
Hello, I'm Jane Pisano, President and Director of the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles County. I am pleased to welcome you to the Centennial celebration.
NHM can serve as a model for other museums and other cities to create hubs in urban settings. Today, this is LA's museum, but tomorrow, this is a museum for the world. Thank you for coming tonight, and thank you for your support.
Most people don't know it, but the Los Angeles County Natural History Museum has had an enormous impact over the years on the development of LA and LA County as a world-class cultural center. Imagine this, 100 years ago, November of 1913, water came to Exposition Park for the first time through the completion of the LA County Aqueduct. The very next day, the Museum of Science, History, and Art opened right on this location. 10,000 people came to the opening. And that was out of only 300,000 people who lived in LA at the time, the equivalent of 100,000 people coming here tonight. Since then, we've welcomed US presidents, art exhibits from around the world, science fairs, and continued to contribute to the development of the culture of this region. Now, as we enter our second century, we're reinventing and reimagining the Natural History Museum all over again. This is a very exciting time to be part of our museum family. And I want to thank board members, donors, staff, and everyone who made all this transition possible. But most importantly, I want to thank the visitors for making it all worth doing.
There's a lot to be celebrated. There's a whole lot to be said about being the first to open one's doors to this life of biodiversity, this life of natural history, this life of cultural significance. And it seems to me that that can never, ever be forgotten.
Here in Los Angeles, something pretty remarkable was happening about 100 years ago, about a century ago, when people were coming together and defining what the future would be like by investing in institutions at the time. And it's that kind of investment at the moment, but looking towards the future, that I think makes Los Angeles quite a remarkable place.
Well, I can just kind of remember from a very young age coming to the museum, seeing this huge grounds area. First by the gardens and all the color that was there.
I'm a Los Angeles native, born and raised, and one of my first field trips in elementary school was here at the Natural History Museum, and it was one of the most memorable field trips I've ever had.
My first connection with the Natural History Museum was as a little second grader on a field trip, walking to these great halls and being educated about all that is going on in history. It was one of the most exciting moments as a youngster, an exciting moment in my education.
One of the humorous aspects of the work, kind of being an urban archaeologist on this project, was to climb up into the frame of the rotunda, 50 or 60 feet above the floor, and see the steel framing there. And not only was it impressive how high quality it was, especially for the day, but it was kind of humorous to see in pencil on the steel, erected by Bill, October 1910. And then 3 or 4 feet away, written in another pencil, corrected by Sam, November 1910.
Over the last 100 years, this museum has grown as the city of Los Angeles and county of Los Angeles have grown. When you look back at what Exposition Park was like in 1913, except for the Rose Garden, there weren't many other things here that have lasted as long.
I have been here since 1964. And by saying I've been here, there hasn't been 1 year that I haven't been doing something to help the museum. I'm not the active docent that I used to be, but I do come and I do support it, and I wish it, my museum, I wish a very happy birthday.
The original Natural History Museum building is the oldest institutional building in the county of Los Angeles, and it's a beautiful facility, a beautiful edifice that has been preserved. It is the crown jewel of the cultural arts landscape of our community.
often asked the question why this museum is so important to Los Angeles County. When we were thinking about the museum for the next century, we did a study, and we found that a large number of the population, and particularly the young people that live within 5 miles of this museum, have never seen the ocean. That was a wake-up call to the importance of the natural environment that we live in, and that's why the museum is so important.
More than a decade ago, the Board of Trustees of the Natural History Museum adopted a new mission statement to inspire wonder, discovery, and responsibility for our natural and cultural worlds. Tonight, you see in all of the new galleries that have opened the manifestation of that new mission. And you see the attention that we've put on visitors to the museum to inspire them to learn about science and to tell their friends about the possibilities for learning and for fun that exist at the Natural History Museum.
It's important that we have a strong, viable natural history museum. It's important for our children in our parochial and public and private schools. It helps them to learn their history, and it enriches the entire fabric of our community.
You know, there's a lot of wonderful museums here in Los Angeles County and a lot of great opportunities. But the destination point, the icon for Los Angeles County and all the museums is the Museum of Natural History.
One of the newest elements of the museum that I'm most proud of us for is the creation of the nature gardens. Effectively, the entire footprint of the museum proper, which is nearly 3 acres, is now all going to be museum. The second you walk onto our grounds, you are in the museum. You'll be in the nature gardens at first, and you may not think you're in a museum, but you really are. And our citizen scientists are using these nature gardens to explore the 5 to 10 million new species that we haven't even discovered yet. And we're engaging everyone in Los Angeles in helping to document what's there and to better understand our entire environment and our responsibility as caretakers of this environment.
Over the last 100 years, we've studied about nature in our institution with our 35 million specimens and all our exhibits. But now, as we're moving into this next century, we encourage you to put on your nature eyes and go out there in your own backyards and in our gardens and learn about the natural world. Become a citizen scientist.
You know, the joy of coming to the Natural History Museum is to step into a world of extinct animals, to know that these fabulous creatures once roamed the earth and then were no more, just gone. We don't understand why fully, or maybe we do, but I love walking where these, you'll never see these creatures anywhere else again because they're extinct. And I didn't mean anything by the extinct comment, I was just...
Wonders never cease.
How'd they get all these animals?
Teddy Roosevelt killed them.
Cindy, Sloan's on his way to the meeting of the trust to obtain the retinal scans. Make sure you get to the vault and we'll have the codes.
Copy that.
Dr. Goodman, FBI agents will never respect any of us as long as you simply dole out scientists like office temps.
Want to go touch a bunch of stuff?
Yeah.
No, it's all right. Opening night never sounds on time.
Okay.
The La Brea tar pits became traps for all kinds of animals.
They would either wander out on the tar or be driven into it by their enemies. The tar would trap them and slowly kill them. Getting kind of scared.
Don't worry. Not the scary type.
Thanks for meeting me. I come here a lot. It's quiet, helps me think.
You telling me there was this 2,000-year-old mummy here, right?
Yes, sir.
But now he's not here. He's gone. Vanished. Did you take him?
No, sir.
Just a shot.
Through the room, past the grinning faces full of boiling teeth, past the conversational bouquets, past the impeccably emaciated ladies of society, the social X-ray women. Christ, was this the world he lived in?
Whatever they say is slightly unconventional. Just put your thumb up to your nose and toe them out and deliver them to Mr. Sickle.
And you share the impact of every incredible moment. Must have been the shock.
Shot my foot. I'm pregnant.
2,000 known species of spider in the world. They're in the order Aranae, which is divided into 3 subgroups.
That's amazing. This is the most advanced electron microscope on the eastern seaboard. It's unreal.
When they walk into the museum, they see these huge mounts of these dinosaurs that used to walk the earth. And I think the first thing that runs through everybody's head is, wow, I can't believe, these things were alive at one time.
Hey, look, a T-Rex! Look, a T-Rex now! I like a T-Rex because he is big and he has sharp teeth. A turtle is in a home and a turtle is outside swimming. I saw an iguana. I got to see a tarantula.
I have a snake, and it was just really fun.
Really taking pictures when we go on the nature walks.
We went outside and we took pictures of natural images, and we chose our favorite. Really, I think it's just an exercise in looking at the world and seeing what's there.
But when you're observing as an artist or a scientist, you really look at it and you see the characteristics of it. It's good to observe things so you learn more things about those animals and facts about them.
I learned that the little thing can have a huge impact.
We bring our students to the museum, and the curators here and the gallery interpreters share all their knowledge with them.
And a lot of fun takes place here. So this is a fun place to learn.
being able to expose yourself to a lot of these different things in a quality way and really get a handle of what's going on out there is very important.
I see people's lives changed every day. I see their minds blown every day.
Later this summer, we'll open Becoming Los Angeles, the last exhibition, the last new thing in this decades-long transformation of the Natural History Museum. It is a story of the history of Los Angeles as only we can tell it, the interplay between humans and nature, the impact that nature has had on humans and what human behavior has had on the landscape, the climate, and everything about the environment. This exhibit, combined with all the other wonderful attractions that we have already unveiled, is going to make the museum a must-stop first stop for visitors from Los Angeles County, from the rest of the country, and from around the world.
It's important to remember that we're 1 in 30 million species inhabiting this planet, and that this great chain of animals, of insects, of species of all kinds is only as strong as its weakest links. And so, as humans, we've taken a path of destruction, mostly based on ignorance. And I'm a firm believer in the positive power of knowledge. And I think that as we accumulate an understanding of our interconnectivity in this planet, we'll begin to take some measures to create a path to sustainability.
As a mother of two, one of the things that excites me the most is to see how we are affecting children of the future. There's 200,000 kids that we serve here at Visits in the Museum, and just knowing that we can support the Los Angeles community and their growth of curiosity and science and culture here in LA is really important to me.
People can come here and see real dinosaurs and real exhibits that are based on real specimens. And they learn also that there are many things we do not know. And that's really inspirational because they imagine that maybe they are going to be the ones who can make the discoveries that will lead to answer the questions that today we cannot answer.
I've had the opportunity over the last few years to invite good friends of ours to spend time, in particular events like First Friday, which are unique. I believe they've enjoyed it. I know we've learned a lot, and it's been a fun and casual setting, exposing friends to this museum and giving them sharing the excitement that I have is something that I believe has been meaningful to them.
Thank you, LA County, for making this the most effective public-private partnership in the world.
We value the relationship we have. We celebrate together this birthday. We also will celebrate our continued cooperation and partnership for the next 100 years.
The Finwheel and the Otis Booth Pavilion kind of represent the coming together of our past and our present, of an incredible experience with a treasured, iconic collection, of a new front entrance for Los Angeles' oldest museum. A new transparency, and yet protecting and treasuring this incredible object that so many Angelinos love and so many more will now get to experience.
Happy birthday, Natural History Museum.
Happy birthday, NHM.
Happy Centennial.
You're looking good, Natural History Museum.
Celebrating our first century here in Los Angeles.
Happy Centennial birthday, Natural History Museum. You're 100 years old. She says that's nothing to her.
I'm Vinny DiTolo.
And I'm John Shuck.
And we're the co-owners of Animal Restaurant.
And we just wanted to say,
Happy birthday, NHM. Nailed it.
Happy birthday, NHM.
Happy Centennial, NHM. Celebrating 100 years. Centennial.
Happy birthday, Natural History Museum. You're looking spectacular.
Happy birthday, NHM.
From all of us at JP Morgan Chase, happy birthday, NHM.
Happy 100th birthday to the great Natural History Museum, Los Angeles County.
Congratulations on being the first and oldest museum in Los Angeles County.
Happy 100th birthday, NHM.
Happy 100th anniversary to the Natural History Museum.
Happy birthday, Natural History Museum. I hope you enjoy not only today, but the next 100 years, as we've enjoyed you these past 100 years.
Well, there's so many wonderful things about the Natural History Museum. There's a lot of fun, there's a lot of excitement, and there are so many surprises here. And I mean big surprises. Oh my God. Oh, and you know what he's saying? Rex is saying, happy birthday, Natural History Museum.
For such an intelligent man, our dad was actually quite a simple man, and he had a very few passions in life, and the Natural History Museum was definitely one of his main passions. And he served on this board for over 30 years, and I think he would be delighted and thrilled to see the new Otis Booth Pavilion.
The entrance broadens your horizons and introduces the children of Los Angeles to the magnificence of Mother Nature and all of her creatures.
I think the opening of the Otis Booth Pavilion is a very exciting day for all of us, and I know our family is very proud to be here and to see the excitement in Los Angeles, because this will hopefully be a wonderful first impression. And he was always a very big believer in making a good, positive first impression. And I think that's what the Otis Booth Pavilion does, is it draws you in a beautiful way, in an impressive, exciting way, to one of the most important institutions in Los Angeles. So I know that we are all very excited to be here, and we're very, very proud and looking forward to seeing all the future families and schools and children that benefit from this new addition to this wonderful, wonderful institution.
Jane Pisano came to us on the Otis Booth Foundation and asked us to help in any way we could. So she re-engaged the conversation of the plant, the facilities, and the pavilion wasn't even in the discussion. But when we saw the plans later, we just thought it was the right thing to do, and it would be a wonderful legacy for Otis.
As I was walking down Exposition Boulevard the other day, coming from Figueroa, it really struck me that seeing the 1913 building and the rotunda in the foreground, and the Otis Booth Pavilion in its modernity in the background really formed a visual bookend, set of bookends for a complete century, and I thought that was just visually stunning.
Good evening. What a great night for Los Angeles and the Natural History Museum. Tonight we're here to celebrate a lot of things, but I want to focus on one thing. I want to focus on Otis Booth, my friend and our benefactor. I know Otis isn't with us physically, but I know he's listening. I know he is with us. I remember so many, many things that Otis did for this museum, and frankly, he did for me as a new young leader of this museum. I remember our many, many nights of planning. Dick Volpert was there, Richard Roeder, Jane, others. We thought about, we imagined this future. Otis, you contributed in every possible way to that. And here tonight, we've achieved even beyond the visions that we had. And I think it's perfect that we remember you in this new pavilion. The whale is a perfect metaphor for you. Big, powerful, deep, kind of quiet, but important. Otis, thank you for everything you did. happy birthday, Natural History Museum, to the next 100 years.